for anyone wondering if it's any cooler out, it is. It is now 100 degrees. Cut all the way up its belly. So, can't tell, we are back in the van. Currently we're in the desert of Arizona. We slept at this rest stop last night, and it got down to, at the coldest, I think it was 74 at like 2 a.m. So not the most ideal sleeping temperature, so that's why I had my portable AC set up and pumping all night long, keeping me nice and cold. And this thing definitely does not cool off the entirety of my van. It doesn't even cool off the bed area, barely cools off the couch. It only cools off about 6 inches in front of it, so it's not the most efficient like space cooler, but I have learned over the years, counterintuitively, if you get in bed and cover yourself fully with the covers, which obviously you wouldn't do because it's 115 in the back of my van right now. Take this hose and tuck it up under here. It creates like a little cocoon bubble of cold air that I can sleep in pretty comfortably, even if the back of the van, like outside of my little cocoon bubble, is really hot. It stays around 69 in here. So yeah, even when the sun comes up and it starts really beating down on the top of the van, I can even sleep in. It's currently 10 o'clock and it's almost 90 degrees outside, but I feel great as long as I'm in my little cocoon. But then the second I leave it, it's like I get slapped in the face with hot air. I don't want to leave. And for those of you guys wondering what this tube coming out the back is, that's just the exhaust. I just put it out my fan through this little Velcro styrofoam contraption I made, and then I turned the fan on. So this is the most energy efficient, best way to stay cool I've found for the summertime. It's almost like heavy breathing the air. It's so hot. I think the time has come to start getting out of here. I'm also really excited for the stuff that I have planned today because we are in Arizona, and I was lucky enough to find myself some rattlesnake meat to cook for dinner tonight. And I caught it with my own bare hands, wrestled it down to the floor in the desert, and we're gonna cook it up tonight. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I didn't actually catch a snake. I was just lucky enough the other day to find somewhere that was selling rattlesnake, whole rattlesnake with skin on. So I bought some. Never made it before, figured I'd try to cook it tonight. This will definitely be getting used tonight, so I'm just gonna keep it up front here. And although Arizona is a state that is known for obviously having rattlesnakes, I don't have the tools or the knowledge to really go out and capture one, especially being alone. We have made it to the store to get all the ingredients we need to cook our rattlesnake tonight. Before we head in there, got myself a little snack. A Chomps meat stick, because I didn't have any breakfast, and these are like the perfect on-the-go snacks. And these things have quickly become the #1 on-the-go snack that I reach for when I'm driving around, since I'm on the road all the time. They've got 10 to 12 grams of protein in each stick and only 80 to 100 calories. So it's really nice how convenient and healthy they are for snacking when I'm on these long drives. They are the perfect, sustainably sourced protein-packed snack made with no harmful ingredients. And you guys already know I'm trying to lose weight, so being able to snack on this zero sugar, high protein snack when I'm on the road is making that a whole lot easier. I personally like the original beef stick flavor, but they have a bunch of other ones, so if you've had it before, let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. And if you want to learn more, go ahead and click the link that's down in the description. So I'm thinking for this rattlesnake recipe tonight, I'm gonna do rattlesnake tacos, because from what I've read online, it kind of tastes like chicken, it kind of tastes like fish. I figured chicken and fish both go good in tacos, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, I think we got everything we need, and it is so hot out today. I think it just broke 100, which isn't ideal for camping, but that AC, I should hopefully be able to make it work where it's not too uncomfortable. Best part about living in a van, I don't have to carry my groceries into the house. Just take them out to the car, put them away, and I'm done. Anyways, groceries put away. Took the snake out of the freezer, letting him thaw it a little bit. Got about 20 minutes. I'm gonna hopefully find a campsite up on the Arizona side of Lake Havasu, about 25 minutes away. Not really sure how accurate this is, but 111. It is September. It should not be this hot anywhere. Anyways, onward. Alright. I think this is it. Hopefully we can find a spot back in here somewhere. So the best and the worst thing about coming out places like this, Arizona in the summer, is it's so hot that it's unbearable. But since it's unbearable, that means nobody else is out here. There's a million little pull-offs and fire pits all the way down this road, and not a single other person is out here. And it's not too bad for me. During the day it gets kind of hot when I can't run my AC, but with the AC I get a perfectly good night's sleep, and that's all that really matters when you come out here. I just want to get a little further back in here, maybe another mile and a half or so. Get away from the road a little bit, back into nature, cook this rattlesnake. All right, so I pretty much drove all the way back down this kind of dirt road right here from the highway over there, but it looks like this way is the best view, and the sunset's going to set over there. These mountains are spectacular, and you even get a view of the lake from here. But there was a spot, I think, a little bit less than a quarter mile down the road back from where we came that's pretty good. So I'm gonna head back there, grab a campsite for the night with this kind of spectacular view over those mountains. And for anyone wondering if it's any cooler out, it is. It is now 100 degrees. So we've cooled off 11 degrees since we left Walmart, and I'll pretty much take anything I can get. Other than the heat, nice fire pit. Beautiful day out. I think before we do anything else, I'm gonna start getting camp set up. Camp is set up. All that a man needs. So there isn't really much out here that can catch on fire, but I still don't really want to light a fire because everything out here is so dry. Because it's been so hot recently. But I do love my little propane fire pit, so I think I might use that, cook outside tonight. Avoid having to be in the van cooking in the heat. So there we go. Now camp is fully set up. And with that, I think we can start prepping. At least all of the other stuff other than our rattlesnake. So first thing we're getting prepped up is the salsa that's gonna go on top of our tacos. I kind of wanted to do something a little sweet. A little pineapple salsa, kind of go for like a chicken al pastor style taco. Hopefully it's good. But essentially we're just going to fine dice all of these things right here. Combine them into a salsa. Oh, and some pineapple. And that'll be our nice salsa topping for our tacos. How nice this red onion looks. Such a nice color. So satisfying to cut onions. And I'm running out of room on my cutting board, so I'm just gonna throw some of this into the bowl. It's all gonna end up anyways. The last two things we got to cut up is some pineapple, bell pepper. And I got orange just because I wanted to add a little bit of orange color because I already had green and red with the tomatoes and the jalapeno. So I figured this would add just a little bit more color to the salsa. Look at that. Beautiful. The last little thing we can add to our salsa is some fresh squeezed lime. And a little bit of salt. And mix that all together. Actually, I almost forgot. I'm gonna throw a little bit of cilantro in there too. All right, now that our salsa's done, the only other thing I gotta prep is some a little sauce to go on top of the tacos when they're done. So we're gonna do that. And we're just gonna keep it pretty simple with this sauce and kind of just do like a spicy, limey aioli, starting with some light mayonnaise, a little bit of hot sauce, just kind of to taste as much as you want or as little as you want. Juice from half of a lime. These aren't the juiciest limes, honestly. And then some minced garlic on top of that. And honestly, why not? I just chopped up a little bit more cilantro. Throw that in there too. I'm hoping this sauce is good. I don't really know. Sounded like it would be good in my head. We'll see. It does look pretty good. That's pretty much it for toppings and sauce. Now we're going to start prepping up our rattlesnake, getting it gutted, skinned, and hopefully ready to cook. But I've never done this before, so it's going to be kind of a learning experience for me as well. All right, moment of truth. Time to cut open our rattlesnakes and see what I have gotten myself into. It's a big guy. I will say it does not feel like there's a lot of meat on here. I'm hoping I'm going to get enough for at least 2 or 3 tacos, but we'll see. So before we go cutting into this guy, so I'll take a second to show you guys that sunset. Look at that. But it is my understanding, the best way to go about doing this is to kind of take the snake, use a knife, cut all the way up its belly in a straight line, and then the guts should pull right out along with the skin, but I guess you're going to find out with me, and I'll probably do this outside actually. Once you're through that, it just kind of, the guts just kind of pull out and separate from the insides. You can go ahead and just do that over the trash. Get those all pulled out. I read online that this is one of the easiest animals to process because everything pulls apart so nicely. Just like that, nice and clean insides. And then the skin should pull off just as easily. And then usually once it stops pulling, you can just cut from there. And this will be all the meat that we can cook with. Rattlesnake meat. Ugh. So I'm gonna take this inside, get it cleaned off, rinsed out in the sink. Then we should be good to season it up and cook it. There we go. All nice and clean, ready to be cooked. So for the seasoning on this steak, I just made up a little bowl of avocado oil, smoked paprika, mustard powder, salt, lime juice, cumin, white pepper, and black pepper. We're just gonna coat this thing in this mixture. Get it nice and evenly coated on both sides. I'm gonna be honest though, it really does not look like there's a ton of meat on this thing. I'm hoping it kind of just falls off the bone like a shredded pork. So I'll make it a little bit easier, but I don't know. I think this thing is good to go. So I think before we get this rattlesnake on the fire, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna chop it into smaller pieces just to make it a little bit easier to get in there and cooking. And I wish I had like a heavier knife for this. Dump these bad boys in there. I am going to be honest though, I do not have any idea how long I'm supposed to cook these. So I'm going to go for a little bit of an overcook on them. I just really hope there aren't any rattlesnakes out here watching me do this. I can't imagine they'd be very happy. Also, apparently with these rattlesnakes, since they're venomous, you would think that you'd have to worry about some sort of venom with ingesting it, but apparently as long as you are just ingesting the venom, it can't hurt you. I think it has to get in your bloodstream, but if you eat the venom, supposedly you can't get sick from it, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm very interested to see how this is going to taste like compared to fish or chicken, or even I've had alligator before. Honestly, alligator wasn't my favorite. It was kind of like a chewier chicken. So I'm interested to see what the texture of the snake's gonna be. All right, these are pretty much good. Toss those on that plate. Look at that. Now we can set these. Look at that sunset. Wow. But I'm getting pretty hungry. This looks actually really good. I'm actually very curious how much meat I'm gonna get off of these. It does not look like a lot, and there's a lot of bones in there, so not the most hopeful. Yeah, definitely not a lot of meat coming off this. You can kind of see just how little is on the outside. Picking through it, but at the very least, hopefully I'll get one taco. Look at that. That looks good. Oh, it smells exactly like chicken, not gonna lie. Some of the pieces also have a little bit more meat on them. This back piece was kind of a little bit thicker than the rest, but I'm gonna get all this pulled off and I'll just show you guys how much meat we got out of it. All right, so there we go. Got as much of that meat off as I could. This is what we got. I think it's enough for 2 tacos. So we'll throw a little bit of rattlesnake meat in each. I do want to try a piece without the taco just to see how it tastes though. I'd say it's kind of fishy almost, but it feels chewy, but not chewy at the same time. It honestly has the same consistency or texture as that like imitation crab you can get from the stores. That's kind of the closest thing I compare it to. Obviously there's seasoning and stuff on it, so I don't know, but Not bad. It's got a decent texture, decent flavor. Now let's dull it up and make it look like a pretty taco. Take a little bit of our pineapple salsa, throw that on there. A little bit of queso fresco. And then just a touch of that sauce we made, I put it in this little bottle so I can get a nice drizzle. There we go. 2 wonderful looking tacos. They look a little bit prettier if I toasted the tortillas, but it's late. I'm hungry. I don't feel like it. You toast your tortillas. Don't judge me for not toasting mine. Cheers. I mean, it is pretty good. It's definitely not a bad meat. It's just not a lot. It's kind of like crabs. Not really getting a lot of meat. It's kind of a lot of work to get to it. Would I go out of my way to eat rattlesnake again? Probably not. But am I glad I ate it? Kind of. Anyways, I'm gonna sit out here and finish the rest of these tacos and then get everything cleaned up and probably get my AC going because it's hot out. All right, let's get everything cleaned up, and I didn't realize that there was bugs out because they were so tiny I couldn't see them. When I came back, there was like 10,000 bugs in here. So I spent the last 15 minutes fighting them off. You still see them flying around there. Little tiny little gnats. I don't know what they are. I'll find them all for the rest of the night. Eventually get them all. But it is hot. And the reason I love this AC specifically is because, one, it's so tiny that it's not really ever too much in the way when I'm using it in the summertime. And it just works really well with the space that I have in my van. Like if I set it up on this counter, I can take the drain tube and just feed it directly into my sink so I don't have to worry about the water. And then the back end lines up exactly with my vent fan up here so I can vent the exhaust air out to make it a little bit more efficient. At the end of the day, it just gets nice and cold. And it is a godsend, especially after a long day of being hot, to be able to just come in here, turn that on. We're at 92 in the back of the van right now, which is less than comfortable, as you can imagine. All right, so we got ourselves changed, ready for bed. I don't know if you can see that down there, but it's at 65 degrees. I got it on max power, max fan, and it just feels absolutely heavenly. And I realized kind of after I made dinner that I don't have any dish soap, so that's something I'm gonna have to get tomorrow. I guess I ran out. I didn't know. So these dishes are gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Also, if anybody has any suggestions of what I should do with that skin or that rattlesnake tail, I bagged it up and I put it in the freezer, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. But if anybody has any ideas, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll do something with it. Morning. I've been sitting here for the last 15 minutes just trying to see how big I can make this bubble of air conditioning under my sheets. It's like a little air bubble cocoon. I've got it pretty big actually. There's a lot of space in here. A lot of room for activities, if you will. Let's see if I can deflate it. But anyways, it's time to get up. The sun is shining. It's another beautifully hot day out here in the desert. Not as hot as yesterday. It's only supposed to get up to, I think, 90. Not as bad as the last couple days, but still definitely far from cool. Not a cloud in the sky. But I need to find somewhere that I can, 1, throw away my laundry, 2, get some dish soap, do these dishes, and 3, potentially shower. My AC unit did use a pretty decent amount of power last night for my power system because I had it on from 7 or 8 p.m. till it is now 8 a.m., so right around 12 hours. So we're down to about 48, you probably can't see that because it never focuses, but we're down to 48 amp hours of battery left, which is down from 300. So we've used whatever the difference between those two numbers is. But in terms of power usage for an AC, it's absolutely nothing. I think that is it for this video. And get everything cleaned up, put away, ready to go, so I can drive away. And hopefully next time I see you, we're out of this heat, into the mountains, some high elevation, and some cooler temperatures. But as always, truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button if you like my channel, which I'll be sad if you don't. But anyways, catch you guys next time.